All right, here we are back to do distribution of our RSS feed. Now, your RSS feed is a lot like a web address. In fact, it is a web address. If I come up here and copy my RSS feed and then I paste it up here, it loads this ugly thing. This is an XML document. It's an RSS feed. And if you look really close, you can see there's some repetition in, well, actually, let me show you. Let me show you an RSS feed for a podcast that's actually got some items in it, like this one. So if I go ahead and paste that here, you can see some repetition. We've got iTunes author category. Okay, so this is telling us all about the podcast, and then we've got item, title, author, and then again we have item, title, author. So this is a public document. All RSS feeds are public. All podcasts are public. Well, I won't get into that, but 99.9% of podcasts are public. And this file is the thing that informs podcast players like Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or any of the other ones like Overcast. It tells them what the episodes are, what their titles are, where to get the MP3 file so that they can parse that MP3 file and play it in their app. In fact, if I search this document for MP3, I'm going to see that right here I have MP3. And I actually have a tracker in front of this to help me understand public census data information about my listeners. So I'll take that out. But if I post this, you're going to see what comes up. Oh, this is an audio file. So the RSS feed and XML file is what tells every player that anyone can listen to your podcast in where to find your MP3 file and what details pertain to that item or episode. So we want to distribute our RSS feed to all the places, and good God, there are so many. And this video is actually going to be kind of short because I'm not going to actually distribute this podcast. Maddie would be so mad if I put that picture everywhere. But I am going to show you how to do it. So we're going to go to distribute. And we already saw Spotify, that already happened. It happened as soon as we hit publish. So they've done that for us, they being Sounder. Apple Podcasts. Okay, let's go to settings. Your podcast is not connected. All right, how to connect. Please read the instructions on how to submit your podcast to Apple Podcasts here. Boom. Submit a show. Here are the instructions. This is how you do it. It is a pain in the ass. I promise you, the biggest pain for listing a podcast is going to be the Apple one, because you have to create an Apple ID, you have to log it into iTunes somehow and verify that you're a real person, you have to assign a billing method to it so it knows you're not a bot. It is a pain, a legitimate pain, but this document shows you how to do it, and these are the instructions you'll follow to do that. Now, the most important ones for you to do are Apple and Spotify. Spotify is done for you. Third most important, Google Podcasts. This is a little bit easier. These ones, not everybody lists on all of them, but it's a good practice to be on all of them because the prevailing theory is that if you're everywhere, you cast a wider net, and so you'll get more listeners. I have arguments with that, but at least in theory, it's true. So you'll connect every single one of these. And as you can see, there are quite a few. And instructions to submit your RSS feed are right in every one. Settings. You'll copy your link. This is your RSS feed. It never changes. And then you'll click Submit Your Podcast to Stitcher here. And in some cases, it'll take you to an instruction pamphlet. And in other cases, it will take you directly to where you need to do it. And you'll say, oh, okay, well, in Stitcher's case, I'll just get started. And it's going to want me to create an account so that I can get started. Simplecast owns Stitcher, it seems. I don't think I knew that happened. But you'll create an account here, and you'll log in, and it'll say, okay, what's your RSS feed? And you'll say, here it is. I'm going to paste it from my clipboard. And then you'll submit it. And then in a few days, it'll show up on Stitcher. Now, why am I having you do this when all we have is the podcast trailer? What if somebody finds it before you're ready for them to find it? I promise you, they won't. nobody is going to accidentally find your podcast. At least not anyone you would care about would accidentally find it. Maybe 7 people find it who have no idea who you are and couldn't care less about the podcast. The reason we are launching this with nothing but a trailer is because of this process. Every time you set one of these up, and you're going to set up like 16 of them or something. I'm doing bad math here, but whatever that is. Every time you set up one of these, it's going to take a couple days for it to be approved and for your podcast to be live. So the only way you can guarantee that your podcast is available to everyone on all these platforms exactly when you want it to be is to soft launch it the way we're doing it now before you actually formally launch it and start promoting it. It's because you want it to already be there. You don't want to promote it and say, hey, the podcast launched and it's live on Spotify right now, but maybe on Apple in like a week, or it might be on iHeart in like a month. Like, you want to make sure that these things are done ahead of time so that when you're ready to hit the ground running marketing to grow your show, to like hype the launch, well, it's already there for people to go hear and for people to check out. And ultimately, if someone finds your podcast now before you're ready to market it, well, hey, you've got a trailer there. It's not empty. It even might get you some new subscribers that you weren't expecting to get and that you had to put no effort into getting, because they're going to find your page on Apple or Spotify or Google or iHeart or wherever, and they'll say, hey, this trailer sounds good. Maybe I will subscribe to this so that when new episodes come out, I'll be the first to know, which is why you put that call to action in the trailer. So don't be afraid to do this, okay? Just do it. And it is grueling, and there's nothing you can really do about it. You just have to put in the work. Go to each one of these, hit settings, follow the instructions, add a podcast to Podchaser, create an account to do it. Like, it's a huge pain. You're going to create a bunch of accounts. And this is probably another reason that you should have an email address that is not your business email address, not your primary email address, because every time you do this, you are going to get an email. Somebody's going to get annoyed by that. Another reason is, if you have a co-host and you want them to be able to have access to this stuff, you don't want to have to give them access to your email. You'd rather have a shared email or a shared inbox that you can all access without having to give any special permissions to anyone or any passwords to anybody. So your last task of this week, if you can manage it, I know it's a heck of a week, is to submit your RSS feed to all these places, so that in a couple days, I can drop onto any one of these platforms and find your podcast and hear your trailer. If you've got questions, and again, let me bring my face up here. Let me bring my face up in the background here. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Boom, here's my face. If you've got any questions, which no doubt you will, this is what the Discord is for. If you're not in the Discord yet, you're messing up. If you haven't gotten access to it, email me, tanner@tannerhelps.com. This is what our weekly call is for. Okay, don't be shy in those calls. Ask me questions. Put me to the screws. You paid to be in this course. Ask me the questions you need answers to. Don't think I'm going to be upset that you asked me a question. Again, you pay money to be here. I want you to leave this course feeling like you got everything you needed. Otherwise, you're going to tell all your friends this course sucks, and then I don't make any money. That's not good for me. So ask me questions. Again, put me to the screws, and ask me those tough questions. If you thought something was missing from this week, that you're like, hey, man, you didn't even mention this. Tell me that. Call me out. And I will see you on Friday. Be active in that Discord, because I'm in there every day. So if you've got questions before Friday that you need help with now, ask them in the Discord. Tag me. Hit that little @ button. Type my username, Tanner Helps, and say, hey, Tanner, where the heck are you? I've got a question. I need an answer right now. Right now. So do that. And I guess this is it for this week. I will see you next week. Congratulations for making it through. Holy smokes. Tough one. But yeah, congrats. And until next time, take care.